How does that one go in the Hoopla! Absolute cinema.
Hello.
We have already started the episode off of the rails, but how are we doing tonight, ladies and gentlemen? We got the whole gang in here today. Anthony above me, Trent over to technically my left, but really the way I'm pointing with my right arm. And then we got Ender up in the top right corner. We got a pretty good episode for you guys tonight. So essentially the whole gist of tonight, the description is not lying to you. Each of us are going to kind of give you kind of our synopsis of our personal team's draft class. And then each of us are going to pick out a winner and a loser that we kind of took from the 2026 draft. Of course, it's way too early to know anything about any of this, but that's what NFL content is, baby. We'll shoot this up to Anthony. How do you feel about the Tennessee Titans draft, my guy? And how are you doing tonight?
Doing all right, you know. Gotta get to hang out with the boys a little bit, talk about football, but I gotta say with my Tennessee Titans, I mean, if we're being realistic, I'd give them like a B+. They touched on getting, their biggest needs. They got a receiver. They got an offensive weapon for Cam Ward, Carnell Tate. They got an edge rusher, and I think Kendrick Falk. And obviously, my favorite pick of the draft, Anthony Hill Jr., rocking number 53 for the year, Keith Bullock's number.
Could have been a Colt.
Yeah, so, it's okay. Nobody wants to go to that poverty franchise, but
this poverty franchise has 2 more Super Bowl wins than you do.
And they have how many broken ankles and torn ligaments that they got for their quarterbacks?
Oh Lord!
Speaking of which,
Pacing
how
gentlemen.
How are you gonna have like an all-time talent, Andrew Luck, and boo him when he retires, even though your previous GM could have get a offensive line around him? Speaking of just terrible. The Titans would have treated him better, but the only problem is during that Titans, they weren't drafting that low to begin with those years. They were pretty competitive.
What year did Andrew Luck retire?
2019?
19?
2019 preseason?
2019.
Mm-hmm.
So I was still in high school, so I probably wasn't pretty much into sports at that time.
I see. But no, Titans did good. Carnell Tate, I feel like was an overreach a little bit. But then again, the Titans needed offensive weapons for Cam Ward.
Bad.
So having Carnell Tate, having Wan'Dale Robinson, along with Calvin Ridley and Jim Dike, I mean, it's a whole year ago, our offensive weapons were terrible, and now going to this year, really competitive. Personally, other than Anthony Hill Jr., my favorite pick of the draft was actually Nick Singleton out of Penn State. Running back. I feel like he has a lot of potential to being a starter, specifically with Tony Pollard getting older and with Nick Singleton having that home run centric. He could go off at any moment. For the value of it, I know everybody is loving Jeremiah Love. I loved him. No pun intended. I thought the Titans should have gotten him, but I obviously went to the Cardinals. But with Nick Singleton, I don't know. I feel like he has potential to be our RB1. Only time will tell. But yeah, gotta give the Titans about a B to B+ grade. Well, we just gotta see how it looks at the end of the year, obviously.
I like it. No, I was going to butt in and ask who your favorite pick was, so absolutely nailed it right there. We'll slide it over to you, Ender. We'll keep it in the AFC for a moment. Tell us about the Colts draft. What would you grade it? Favorite pick? What do you think?
I think the Colts draft this year, even without a first-round pick, we did pretty damn good. I'd give us about an A-.
Okay.
We got everything we needed. The only thing I feel like we did not get was pass rush, but we pretty much got everything else we needed. I mean, C.J. Allen at round 2, that was a steal. I think Deion Burks in round 7, he was a steal. Had no real reaches. It was a pretty damn good draft from Ballard, all things considered.
If you had to give me an absolute favorite pick out of your class, who and why?
Out of the Colts draft?
Out of the Colts draft, like if you had to give me your favorite pick, who and why?
I think CJ Allen. He's proven that he's a damn good player. He's proven that he has what it takes to play NFL caliber football.
I'm surprised he fell as far as he did, too, to be completely honest.
I am too. Every
Uh,
mock draft I've seen had him going first round.
and that was pretty much. I think we were talking about that before we went live too. But Trent, let's slide it down to you as well here. We'll break up the whole run on the AFC here. Philly, tell me about it. How do you feel about it? Who's your favorite pick about it?
For once, I feel pretty good about I always feel good about the draft, but I really think that the Eagles did well. I would give them an A minus, somewhere around there. I think they addressed their needs as best they can. The only thing they didn't get was a safety, but they got a receiver because we know AJ Brown's probably going to be gone next month. We got a tight end. We got a defensive end, even though he wasn't drafted. Traded a couple of picks for him, and then
Oh yeah, that's true. You guys did trade
for Grenard.
That's right, Jonathan Grenard.
2/3.
I was gonna
Grenard.
say, how did you feel about shipping 2/3 away for that?
They're third rounds.
Top 100
They're third round
picks.
They're top 100, but since it's this year and next year, we're gonna get compensation picks for some of the players we lost anyways.
Yeah.
Also, I really like that left tackle to sit behind Lane Johnson. He's like 6'9".
Markel Bell.
Markel Bell looks okay. You know, he's not the typical Philly kind of offensive lineman. He's not as athletic.
Mm-hmm.
He runs like a 5.36. But also the Uar Benar guy, the defensive tackle, pretty good story about him. But I think my favorite pick is Mekhi Lemon for obvious reasons. One, the Eagles got a receiver to hopefully take over for AJ Brown. Even though I don't want AJ to leave, I like AJ. And 2, we jumped the Steelers. And 3, we gypped Jerry Jones again.
There you go. I did want to pick your brain a little bit. Tell me what you thought about the selection of Cole Payton in the 5th round. How do you feel about that one? Do you think he ends up QB2? Because who's sitting behind Jalen Hurts right now as backup?
Tanner McKee.
Is it still Tanner McKee?
Yeah, it's Tanner McKee. I think Peyton ends up as a practice squad player.
Okay.
This year.
You think they go out and get a camp arm? Or do you think they carry 3 QBs on the roster?
I would carry 3 QBs on the roster. There's no need for another quarterback. I think our quarterback room is pretty solid.
Well, because who's behind McKee?
There's no one.
Okay, so
Last year, I hope the Colts always carry 3 quarterbacks in their room now.
The thing is I was on Jalen Hurts last year and earlier this year. But if you look at how the offense was ran, and then I got that thing. I don't know if you guys seen the Jeff Stoutland video I did.
I did look at that.
He confirmed basically that Petula was a bad coach.
That's crazy.
He didn't say it outright, but he basically said calling the right plays at the right time and calling bad plays into bad defense. So who was calling those
wink,
plays?
wink, nudge, nudge.
Yes,
if
basically.
you will.
So Jalen Hurts, he's going to have a year to prove it. He said he wants to throw the ball in the middle. So
Hey,
we'll see.
We'll see. We will see. My turn, I guess. I liked Denver's draft class. I didn't love everything about it. I do think Tyler Onyedem was a little bit of a reach for where they were in the draft. I think there were better players on the board. So I think McKinstry was still on the board, wasn't he? I think that was his name. I might be wrong on the name there. But there were like better D tackle prospects on the board at the time. And I think Onyedem was like a consensus reach. I think there were very few people that were that high on Tyler Onyedem. Jonah Coleman in the 4th round was an absolute steal. I adored everything about that pick. I think the expectation was that Denver was going to take a running back. I just think the question was where, and I think Jonah Coleman just like fell to them perfectly. Coleman's not like a home run hitter guy. He ran like a 4.7 40-yard dash, but he's like 5'9", 5'10", like 228 pounds. Like, that man is a low center of gravity fucking pinball. Like, that guy will run through a motherfucker face. And then as well, Cage Casey in the 4th. I do like that plan, kind of grooming a left guard. Palczewski can kick out to tackle. I know that Casey did play tackle basically his whole career, but I think his physical profile will kind of stick him more as a guard at the NFL level. The short arms are going to do it to him. He has a good anchor, but I don't think he's the most athletic offensive lineman ever. Doubling up on tight end I thought was really good. You get Justin Joly in the 5th that they traded up for, which I love that move. And then you get Dallin Bentley in the 7th. Kind of not sure what you're going to get with the guy, and they got him with the penultimate pick of the draft. So that one's going to be kind of like, he put up 600 yards in like his one real receiving like role at Utah last year. So like, I think there might be something to work with there. That obviously remains to be seen. Got Red Murdoch at the back end of the draft, which I really liked. And then they got York as a UDFA, which I know we're not talking about UDFAs, but I did just want to slot that in there. I think they could have taken York, but they had priority on Red Murdoch. Otherwise they wouldn't have taken him. If I had to throw like a grade at this, Denver didn't get like any immediate impact guys, and I think that's why a lot of people are really knocking them, because they didn't have a pick until round 3, because they traded out of 62 once Max Clare and Anthony Hill were gone. And I'm kind of not including Jalen Waddle for this, like, because that just feels like a technicality. Really, I'd probably throw this like a B-, solid B. I don't think they got any like super immediate impact players, but I think they filled out the depth of what's already a really good roster. And I don't know, like I think that'll do good for him in the long run. Obviously, you got to keep the D-line deep. I don't disagree with the process of taking D-line with your first pick. I just don't love the decision that was made entirely. Although I think Onyedem can become like a really, really solid like rotational run stuff guy. And again, Jonah Coleman is by far my favorite pick out of this draft. It's between him and Justin Joly, but it's Big Christmas got to sit down for this one. Jonah Coleman by far favorite pick.
I have to ask.
What do you got?
Would you count Jalen Waddle towards this?
Yes, just because they did blow the first. Like, counting Jalen Waddle, like I'm tempted to bump this to an A-. If you include Jalen Waddle. Just I think they weren't willing to gamble on any wide receivers that were still going to be on the board at 30 if they wanted to take one. I agree with the process of going, okay, let's just go get an established guy, because I think we're getting better out of Jalen Waddle than we would have gotten out of anyone in the draft class that we would be picking hypothetically at 30. So including Jalen Waddle, I would shoot this up to like an A-. Excluding Jalen Waddle and just going on the merits of what's here that happened during the draft, that'll still throw like a B-, B.
It's not too bad, yeah.
Sort of grade.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We've got winners and losers. And I think it's going to be more fun if we start with our losers, because I think there were a couple of teams that kind of stunk it up. There's probably one team as a whole that we're all thinking of right now, and I feel like it starts with Arizona and ends with Cardinals. The Cardinals made some weird moves, and I guess I might kick this off and kind of jump in here. I did not love Arizona's process whatsoever. Not a ton. They take Jeremiah Love at 3. They take a luxury position when they had glaring holes both along the front 7 and the front 5 on the offensive line. They don't address it until round 2. They take guard Chase Basantis, which I don't think is a bad move. They do need O-line help, and I think getting a guy in the top 35 still pretty solid. I felt like it was a little weird. If you wanted to take Well, and then like to couple it into like they signed Tyler Algier in the offseason. They're still going to have James Conner. There's another guy that they have as well. Like I felt like taking running back for what was a 3-win team last year was really interesting process. And then they go Carson Beck round 3, which he's about to be the most legendary tank commander that, I mean, we haven't seen the likes of since 2017 DeShone Kizer. Or taking Carson Beck when there were still quality offensive linemen on the board, I think was definitely one of the moves of all time. One of the moves of all time. I do think they had a better day 3 than they did days 1 and 2, though. I like going D-line with Caleb Proctor. I think he was pretty high on a couple of boards. Reggie Virgil out of Texas Tech. They very much needed wide receiver help as well. They go linebacker Carson Scherer out of Iowa in round 6. I heard good about him. Read pretty good stuff about him. And then Jaden Williams out of Mississippi to finally address offensive tackle in round 7. The process is kind of where I struggle with Arizona because again, like their biggest glaring needs were really along the front 7 and the front 5 of both of their lines, and it just felt, especially going Love at pick 3, just felt like they were really shooting for luxury picks in a space where it didn't feel fair or like right for them to go for that.
To me, it felt like the Cardinals took Love so no one else could have Love.
That's the thing, though. They're probably gonna ruin him, though.
Yeah, that's
because what offensive line is he gonna fucking run behind? You know what I mean?
I mean, it's the same thing with Beck. No offense to Beck, he's an okay quarterback.
Say, is he really gonna start over Jacoby Brissett?
No,
Brissett is not even. He's holding out.
Beck's holding out?
Brissett's holding out.
Oh, Brissett's holding out? No way.
Starter money. He wants starter money.
Yeah, he's holding out. So it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be between Minshew and Beck.
That fair.
I think Minshew is, because with Beck, he throws too many interceptions when he's needed it the most. All Miami's losses last year during the college football season was because of Beck throwing an interception.
It was like the worst timed interception you can possibly think of.
But you kind of want that if you're in Arizona, right?
I guess if they want to
tank for Manning.
I will say though, like to be the devil's advocate with the Arizona Cardinals, they have I personally think one of the best running backs in the NFL going in already, Jeremiah Love.
Which is fair.
Trey McBride. They also have Marvin Harrison Jr. and also that one guy I can't remember who stepped up and got 1,000 yards receiving without Marvin Harrison Jr. in there. So they have a pretty much stellar offensive core and they have a decent defense. It's just a matter of getting one more season. I feel like they're probably have the capability of being the worst team in the league. And next year, with the loaded draft class they have with Arch Manning, Dante Moore, the Ohio State guy Julian Sayin. So give it one more year. They're going to be the worst team in the league. They have a core. I think just getting who's their coach now, Mike LaFleur. They got to. I'm high on him. I personally think just give it one more year. It's an average draft that wasn't very great to begin with. I personally think they should have traded out of that 3rd pick and let somebody draft Arvell Reese. But yeah, at that point, they wanted a generational talent, and if you have a generational talent, even though it's at running back, and you're not paying anybody, who's it gonna hurt? You know what I mean?
That's fair.
But but the last team to pick a running back that high was Saquon Barkley. And realistically, what did the Giants do with it? Nothing. But that's just the Giants in general.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens. He's already the highest paid running back by far now in the league, just starting up. So I mean, nobody wins the Super Bowl drafting the running back that high. But when you're the Arizona Cardinals and you're hurting for talent, Who says you're wrong?
You gotta find a way to put asses in seats.
Exactly. And Jeremiah Love's very good. I don't think he's going to be with the team long. Give it about like 6 years and he'll be off of it. Kind of like it was Saquon Barkley. We'll just see what happens with Jeremiah Love. He ain't got no O-line right now, I will say. It's going to look like the Raiders.
Yeah, with Genty this last year.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. I'm gonna shoot this the other way. We went Anthony first last time. Trent, draft loser.
Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hey!
I found this because of Brandon Perna. He was a NFL draft consensus check. Basically grades how much a player was reached or if there was a steal.
Oh.
The draft for the Jaguars, Nate Borkenshire has a reach of 108. That means they heavily reached on him. And then their next pick, Albert Regis, inside defensive lineman, 88. They had a steal though in Emmanuel
Pregnan.
A negative 44. It's not bad.
Okay.
That's a good one. And then 100, and then 84, then 30, a steal with negative 41, and then a 98 reach, a 68 reach, and a 61 reach. What 3 of these players were undrafted? So at 56, with Nate Borkenshire,
Yeah.
the consensus was 164. They drafted him 56.
Oi.
So the Jaguars have not done anything to help themselves, in my opinion.
I do remember hearing a lot of people flaming Jacksonville for the Nate Borkenshire pick on day 2. Like as soon as it came out, everyone was kind of like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah, and they have the worst. Like I'm just piggybacking on everyone. They've had the worst draft grade. They had like a D. So I kind of did more digging.
I do want to give credit where credit is due, though. I did think Pregnan was a really, really good pick where they were. Yeah. I do think that they did need some O-line help, especially at guard, because I think their starter, I don't remember if Van Lanen was a guard or a tackle for him last year, but either way, like O-line was definitely a spot where they could have used some actual genuine improvement. I think it's going to be really interesting to see whether their GM's an evil genius or whether he's just tanking for love of the game here, dog.
I'm kind of like underwhelmed by their just their whole offseason. They've lost a lot of good players.
Yeah.
And they didn't pick anybody up.
They
wow.
They almost didn't they almost went worse than Denver in the fact that they lost Devin Lloyd and then did nothing to really replace him until they drafted Parker Hughes out of Middle Tennessee with pick 240.
They lost also what's his name? Running back.
ETN?
Achan.
ETN?
He wants to pronounce it Achan, I guess.
Travis Etienne wants to pronounce it Achan.
Yeah, it's Achan.
You guys aren't talking about the Dolphins guy, are you? Devin Achan?
No.
He said pronounced Achan.
Heard!
That's how his name's pronounced. He just never corrected it until now.
Heard that. That's news to me.
Yeah, it was him. It wasn't. It could have been good for us just to talk about.
Yeah, something to throw at the wall for 2 seconds to ooh shiny.
Yeah, it's all good. But yeah, they lost him. They lost Devin Lloyd. They've lost a lot of pieces, and they didn't get anybody free agents.
And they haven't done a ton to replace anybody either.
No, I don't even think they drafted a running back, right?
They did not.
No, they did not. Replacement. I think they really.
Who was their guy last year? He returned a lot of kicks for him. I can't think of his fucking name right now.
They gave us Tank Bigsby, so that's good.
Now this is gonna piss me off if I don't figure out this guy's name here. What the fuck? Oh, Bashal Tootin. That's right. I think they really believe in the vision with Bashal Tootin, and that's why they didn't they'll probably bring in a UDFA. but I still think the process and not bringing anybody in with a draft pick was definitely interesting. I do like their wide receiver core, though, and I can see why they didn't go that way. Jacoby Myers was solid last year, or they did, actually. No, never mind. I'm the idiot here. I think they added to a room that they already like. I know Travis Hunter's going to be playing, like, strictly corner this year, but, like, I still think they have, like, a really solid 1-2 with Myers and Brian Thomas. I think Brian Thomas will rebound next year.
What do you think of the Jags, Anthony? You said something.
One of the worst drafts in this league. I felt like it was pretty much with the Niners. It's a lot of a lot of ego into this draft, thinking they know better than everybody else, and they reach.
Are we talking about the Jaguars?
I'm talking about the Jaguars. They're not my worst draft. I'll explain a little bit later. But yeah, with the Jacksonville Jaguars, they lost a lot of talent. They didn't replace anybody. They obviously got Travis Hunter last year and traded their first round, so now he's going to be playing full-time cornerback. I can see them dipping, not being the best team in the AFC South anymore. I can see them sliding a little bit to move forward with the Texans, and maybe hopefully the Titans moving on up. But yeah, they did not get better. They actually got a whole lot worse, in my opinion, with Devin Lloyd leaving, with overreaching in the draft. Trevor Lawrence being a fraud, they're gonna get worse. And
you're on that train. You're not ever leaving that train, are you?
No, the train is there. It's to stay.
I think, I think he's the conductor of this train at this point.
I am the conductor, and let me tell you, the cars keep on loading. Everybody's loading on the train. Everybody's gonna get on. Trust me, this is gonna be the year that Trevor Lawrence is gonna get metaphorically demolished by the Texans defense and the Titans defense. And even though I don't like the Colts got a very great defense. So it's gonna look terrible. And Trevor Lawrence is gonna Trevor Lawrence. He is fool's gold.
Trevor
terrible.
Lawrence does this weird thing where he plays like the most mid football you've ever seen, and then he just gets like weirdly hot for like 6 weeks, and it's like like in the middle of the season or like during the back stretch, like the Jags will be like 4-4 at one point, and then he'll get hot and all of a sudden they're like 9-5, and then they'll still find a way to limp to like 10-7, 11-6.
And my thing with Trevor Lawrence, he is, for the level of prospect everybody hyped him up to be, and he hasn't lived up to it at all, in my opinion. He has maybe 1 or 2 good years. Like you said, Miles, he does trash in the first, 8 games or first 10 games, and his team's helping him win. And in the last 6 or 7, he shows everybody, I could be good, just so he could keep the money going. Trevor Lawrence is fool's gold. He's not good at all. He's getting carried by good coaching, and everybody's holding it. He's fool's gold. He's not good, and I look forward to being proven right again. Like I always, he's gonna get a contract. He's gonna get a third one, because for everybody who hates how Baker is performed with the Browns and don't give Trevor Lawrence any crap for it, I mean, you're terrible. Baker Mayfield is widely better and deserves no criticism, but they love to give him criticism. But with Trevor Lawrence, they just allow it because he's a pretty boy with long hair. Get rid of him. He's fool's gold, and he's in the AFC South with Jacksonville. He's going to show this year why he's not that great, and I can't wait to be proven right. And you talk about starting my YouTube channel. It will come back, don't get me wrong, and it will be a full-on hate tour of Trevor Lawrence, because I am
He's going to drop the Trevor Lawrence files.
Yeah,
he's going to release the T-Law files.
It's nice to see all of them fight for second, third, and fourth place. We all know the Colts are going to be number 1 in the AFC South. Let's go to Indiana Jones in the Super Bowl crusade.
Release the AFC South files.
And they are going to Orlando, where nobody else will watch them, just like the Orlando Magic. So
you'll have a chance to beat them this year. They're not playing in Jacksonville.
Yeah,
They're terrible.
True.
They're terrible, and I look forward to
True.
being proven right again.
You really don't like the Jaguars.
He
do you?
really
it's
does not
that-
like the
I
Jacksonville
don't like the
Jaguars.
Jaguars. It's not so much I don't like the Jaguars. I just don't. One, I don't like their owner, and also I
Yeah,
don't
Khan's
believe.
kind of an asshole.
I don't believe in Trevor Lawrence. I don't see the hype in him. I don't. He's not a top 16 quarterback. He's below average, but he gets overcompensated. There's a lot more athletes, quarterbacks who are a lot better, who get more crap than it's deserved than Trevor Lawrence, and Trevor Lawrence just gets to skate by.
Here's I think there's one like I think there's like I want to end this off so we can kind of keep going here but I do want to say Trevor Lawrence will either like end up as a Minnesota Viking in like 4 years and have like a career year under Kevin O'Connell, or I don't know, maybe he's throwing in the UFL in 5 years time, who knows.
I
Last
thought
thing,
those two. I think Jacksonville was
last
the worst
thing,
in the draft.
if Kyler Murray gets ridiculed for some of the mistakes he does, and Trevor Lawrence does similar stuff, like it's terrible. It's Trevor Lawrence is oh my
This whole
god.
episode's gonna be just Trevor
The
Lawrence
Trevor
now.
Lawrence hate train. Okay, I do want to kick this up to Ender for his draft loser, and then we'll swing over to you, Anthony, because we still got to get through the winner section as well. Ender, your draft loser.
Oh, I'm with Trent on this. It was Jacksonville.
100%. I mean, keep digging the trench here, man. Keep digging the trench. Why do you think Jacksonville is your biggest loser?
They reached about as hard as they're trying to reach for a Super Bowl win, which they're never going to get.
If there's one thing
That's
that can
pretty much all I
unite
have to say.
if there's one thing that can unite the AFC South brothers up here, it is their hatred of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I love it. Anthony, biggest loser.
I don't get why we can't beat them at Jacksonville.
Other than Jacksonville Jaguars still having to reach for relevance with Trevor Lawrence, I would have to say it was the Los Angeles Rams by selecting Ty Simpson. I get the pick, don't get me wrong. I still get it. But you have options like Kenyon Sadiq and Mekhi Lemon and Ruben Bain, you have the talent to add on.
Ruben Bain was still on the board, that's right.
And you draft Ty Simpson, who I think you guys could have traded up to get him, and later in the second or first round, like towards like pick 30, 32. I don't see it, but I get it because they want a quarterback to sit behind Matt Stafford for a year or two, learn the system under Sean McVay. It's a huge lose, to my opinion. You guys had a
even putting a quarterback behind Stafford. I don't think this was the draft to get a quarterback, especially for the Rams when they have an MVP like Stafford. But people like Ty Simpson in the first round just felt like a slap in the face to Matthew Stafford.
Well, it's not even that. It's you have an option to add on to a tight end who ran a 4.3. I can't remember who their Colby Parkinson or something like that.
Yeah, Parkinson, and then a couple of other guys behind him. Well, and I like that you bring up Sadiq too, because the Rams kind of like spearheaded the revival of like 13 personnel. Like when you think about it, because you did not see a lot of 12 or 13 personnel just the way the game was going. Really until McVay started doing it, and they were having a lot of success with it as well.
Yeah.
So to not get Sadiq right there when like next year's QB class is loaded, I don't disagree with it. I don't know. Like I felt like they had a good enough day 2 and day 3 that I can't bring myself to call them like a full-on loser. They
reached on
Ty Simpson was a wild pick.
They said that was a 19 reach
on who?
On Ty Simpson. He was consensus 32nd best player on the board.
Huh.
They reached 11 picks on Max Clare, and then 68.
I was a lot higher on Max Clare than I think they were consensus. I loved Max Clare, that they picked him right there at 62. I was hoping that once Anthony Hill went, I was hoping that Claire would fall to Denver. And when he didn't, I was kind of sad.
Well, we don't know. We honestly don't know what it's going to be.
Yeah, we don't know Jack Daniels about this right now, dude. We're
but
just
it's
going
gonna
on
be-
paper.
The thing I have issues with the Rams
no.
draft is they needed wide receivers, and they only picked one wide receiver out of the whole draft.
That is true.
Yeah,
That
I'm
is
looking at
also
it right
true.
now. And like realistically, in my opinion too, is Devontae Adams isn't getting any younger. Puka Nakua, as great as he does have off the field concerns. You guys had an option to get a third receiver and Mekhi Lemon, having that three-headed monster. We all know how great Matthew Stafford is as a passer, and you guys missed on him. Like that's inexcusable for where the NFC is. The Eagles are going to be the Eagles. They're always going to be great. The Giants are going to be on the come up. You have the Seattle Seahawks, who's just retooling for next year. Obviously, they lost talent, but realistically, at the running back position, it's a plug and play. It's not as big as what everybody needs it to be, and they still have Charbonnet in the backfield. So it's like they're getting rid of all these players. I mean, they had an option to really solidify themselves as the best team in the league. I mean, arguably they still are, but you don't pass when you have that high of a pick. You don't pass on talent, in my opinion. And Ty Simpson's such a question mark. Realistically, when has there ever been a great Alabama quarterback? Bryce Young is still
Jalen
up in
Hurts.
the air. How
Jalen
but
Hurts doesn't count.
Jalen
doesn't
Hurts
count.
is also when you're given everything and in between you're loaded, you have Howie Roseman, the draft king, the draft robber, Robin Hood. It's
I like that.
you're always gonna you're given everything. Look at what's the guy, Trent Dilfer with the Ravens. He wasn't great, and I'm not calling Jalen Hurts Trent Dilfer, but still
We're Scooby
when
to
you
win a
have
Super Bowl, Trent Dilfer.
so I just think it wasn't the time. But then again,
The thing with Jalen Hurts, I don't think when he in 2020 was it 3, he was second in MVP. 2022, he was second in MVP voting, and that was
So in terms of Alabama quarterbacks, there's I think 3 that are currently starters,
but
one that was a
Jalen
starter.
Hurts is also not even an Alabama quarterback.
he was Oklahoma.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
But, like,
passed
look
through
at
Bama
it.
for a year, didn't he?
But-
Before he transferred.
Yeah.
Like a
Yeah.
year or two.
Tua is mush brain right now. You got Jalen Hurts, who is not very good. He has question marks on him. I mean, do I agree with it? No, but realistically, there hasn't been a great Alabama quarterback for a
I'll say how
while.
good was Bryce Young for the Panthers.
Bryce Young is hit or miss. We don't know what he is. I like Bryce Young more than CJ Stroud in my opinion, but realistically, he's not that great, and I don't think Ty Simpson is actually gonna do any better. I think he's gonna be if anything, like a Kenny Pickett. Not very high on him. Not very high on this
I think the
guy.
only other Alabama QB I know is Mac Jones.
But Mac Jones is
Mac and cheese.
Is Mac Jones really an Alabama quarterback?
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
Alabama. I would have much rather try to wait till because Mac Jones is going to be a free agent after this year, and try to get a quarterback like that, or try to hopefully see.
Well, the problem is the Rams didn't need to rush to get a quarterback. They had Stafford for this year. They could have waited until next draft for a quarterback.
I kind of okay. So the thing is this is his last year. Next year, you're gonna have to train him up and all that. You can't just. You see what happens with like a great team. Miles over here can tell you all about that. You can't just plug in any old quarterback and be like, okay, you're the starter now. You can't do that.
I like.
Well, the
reflecting...
problem was this was such a QB light draft. There wasn't much in terms of QB talent besides Fernando Mendoza and Ty Simpson.
They could have waited to pick Ty Simpson. I think they could have drafted him.
I think they could have got him
at a
in round 3.
round two.
I
Maybe
feel like they
late
should have
round
used their
2.
first round pick for a wide receiver that they really needed and wait to draft Ty Simpson.
I feel like the Rams probably had other needs though, like outside of skill positions. Like I don't disagree with the process of
They need
waiting a full. Like I don't
second-
fully disagree with waiting to take skill positions. But I do feel like there were better options there because I feel like the Rams could have done with I'm trying to like really think of what they needed because they got better at
Thieneman
corner,
would have been nice.
which would have been.
Thieneman.
Yeah, safety would have been.
Thieneman,
Yeah, Thieneman would have been nice. Safety would have been good for him. I don't think linebacker would have hurt him either. Like actually, off-ball linebacker. I don't think that would have hurt him in round 1. And there were options aplenty at 13.
Based on what I'm reading, they said the top needs for the Rams entering the draft.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't even think receiver was that high on the list. I mean, you have
No,
Adams,
you've still got Devontae. You've still got Puka. I don't know. Like maybe tight end wasn't that big of a need either because like I know that their tight ends produced in that system last year, and it was almost kind of tight end by committee for them last year.
I think they're a defensive. Their secondary was trash. Like
Yeah,
you
what
were
is it?
saying,
Well, and that's why they doubled up on corners. That's why they went out and got McDuffie with that second first rounder that they had. I don't remember what
and they got
trade that was.
Jalen Watson too.
Yeah, and
So,
they got
and
Jalen
I
Watson
know-
in free agency.
So I'm looking at it right now, and this even solidifies my feeling they had one of the worst drafts. They've only had 5 draft picks, and I'm looking at it right now. Let me see how many picks they only had 3 picks in the first 100, and after that, from 93, they didn't have another pick till the 6th round. So for 2 rounds, they didn't have a draft pick, and you drafted a quarterback that high. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it at all. They should have took a bigger talent because I don't know. When you're limited on picks, you're usually F them picks. You should have because usually in the first round they hit on them. Look at their edge rusher they drafted a year or 2 ago with all that. I don't know. I just think if you have an opportunity to solidify yourself to be a better to extend yourself the NFC, the best conference in football.
If anything,
let me
turn
ask
that
you
first
this.
round pick
Oh,
and
sorry.
trade it down for it. And have more compensation so they can have more picks.
Let me ask you this: when was Puka Nacua drafted?
He was drafted in the
Round 5.
next round, round 5.
Wide receiver is kind of one of those positions you're always going to find talent in the later rounds.
Say, wasn't CJ Daniels considered? Wasn't CJ Daniels considered like a pretty big steal too?
Yeah,
For where he was drafted because he was taken in the 6th. Antonio Brown was drafted in round 6. Hell, you can find skill position talent in any round. We picked Terrell Davis in the 6th.
Steve Smith
Yeah,
was a
but-
4th rounder.
But yeah, no, I get what you guys are saying.
Rod Smith
but
went
realistic-
undrafted.
No, because champions are built in the later rounds. Like I'm on board with that. Like I get you and I hear you, but it's when you have a Super Bowl caliber team and you're in the higher 15 and you have opportunity to get a generational talent, you got to take it. But then again, like I said, I'm not hating the quarterback pick. Like it makes all the sense of the world, and how we talked about like a month or 2 ago about JJ McCarthy. This is like a perfect opportunity for him to sit behind and develop behind
That is true.
Matthew Stafford. My only opinion is I would call this a lose, like worst draft I would ever like. Is if next year, say Matthew Stafford is terrible and Ty Simpson. I'm sorry. If they play great, Matthew Stafford retires, and then Ty Simpson jumps in and he's terrible, and they sit on him like the Minnesota Vikings do.
Saying it's like I've got I have track record of that happening too. Because as soon as Manning retired, like for all the gripe that he got for that awful 2015, it's like they fumbled the succession plan with Osweiler, which granted, I like Osweiler was mid at best, at his best, but then it's like you whiff on Paxton Lynch. I mean, God, how many quarterbacks did Denver fucking whiff on at this point? And then Simeon, I don't want to call a whiff because he was a 7th rounder out of Northwestern. And he actually had a pretty he was named a Pro Bowl alternate in 2016. I don't want to throw him under the whiff bus, but they whiff on Lynch, they whiffed on Drew Lock. They whiffed on every free agent they tried to sign to fill that gap. They whiffed on Russell Wilson. Like,
I'm sorry.
they whiffed on everything until they landed on Bo Nix. Like, quarterback is a hard position to figure out.
They
I mean,
should-
But
Colts
the-
just whiffed on Richardson.
Yeah. Well, and like the drop off too from like having a quarterback of that stature to going into the unknown, that can set your franchise back years, and continually whiffing on that can set you back even further. Denver trudged the desert for a decade.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this. Going back to Jalen Hurts, I would rather have Jalen Hurts than Joe Burrow.
No.
That might be the
Yeah,
hottest take
everybody-
we hear today.
Everybody said that about Matthew Stafford.
You know why?
And look why.
I don't want damaged goods.
You're-
It says as Daniel Jones is my current quarterback.
Nah.
I'm sorry. Joe Burrow
Yeah.
has 1 foot out of the door already.
No, I'm a. Since you're my brother, I can say this, but you're dumb. You're dumb. And the reason why you can say the same thing about Matthew Stafford when he was in the Detroit Lions. How many times did that guy get injured for the year? Injured, he was terrible. Like, he played on a terrible team. And even with Carson Palmer, everybody said he was terrible. But realistically, he was, once he left the Raiders, everybody sucks at the Raiders, and left the Cincinnati Bengals and actually went to Arizona, he was an MVP level talent. If you guys remember what the
That
Cardinals,
2015 season for the Cardinals was
Like,
special.
But let me bring this up. Joe Burrow is not Carson Palmer.
he's better.
No. Mentality wise, no.
Wait, no,
He is basically Andrew Luck right now. You've seen it in his demeanor. He has 1 foot out the door already.
Carson Palmer retired too, and
He retired, but he played better. If you look at for the time, you drop freaking Joe Burrow into 2005, and Joe Burrow is a glass knee guy. He's going to get injured. With Carson Palmer taking the hits that he did, and quarterbacks, Joe Burrow's not surviving.
No, but even with Andrew Luck though, they didn't supply him with a good defense or a good offensive line. That guy was getting hit over and over and over. The Colts ruined his love for the game, and that's why he's like, I'm just tired of getting hit.
Praise.
Because it was true during that time. You guys had an all-time level quarterback whenever you guys went to the AFC conference title over and over again when you guys didn't deserve to be there. But it was off the greatness of Andrew Luck. And Andrew Luck, the problem with him was, even Pat McAfee has said this, is like Peyton Manning, he would be an asshole on the field, but Andrew Luck wasn't that level of between the ears an asshole about it, and the Colts got away with ruining a generational talent. If Andrew Luck was anywhere other than the Colts during that time, he would be considered John Elway-esque, in my opinion, but the Colts have ruined him, and realistically, it's not it was the G. If they had Chris Ballard maybe 2-3 years earlier, the guys would have already had a Super Bowl. But the GM at the time that you guys kept with Jim Irsay's problem is you guys kept him for too long. It's the same thing they're doing with Chris Ballard now. Keep it a GM way past his expiration date, and you guys lost. You guys are still recovering from that.
At this moment in time, I'd rather have Jalen just for reliability.
Jalen Hurts can't run.
I think the Colts is the perfect example that you can still get away with using damaged goods as a quarterback. Because Daniel Jones balled the fuck out for his, balled the hell out for his first half of the season before he pretty much blew his ankle out.
I'm just saying, like, he's had multiple. I don't trust people who have multiple injuries like that.
But,
Like, am I gonna?
I don't know how many injuries
am I gonna
Jones had
pay-
with the Giants.
Like one. Am I gonna pay Joe Burrow a bunch of money if I don't be on the field?
Joe Burrow's main issue right now, I just don't think he loves the Bengals. He doesn't love what he's doing right now. I think he needs to do fresh start somewhere else.
yeah, and like you gotta watch the games, boy. Like,
I
whenever.
watched them all last season.
But like the year prior, he ran a whole 17-game season. And the only reason why he got hurt now is because of turf toe. It's because they don't draft. Every time they draft somebody, they don't hit. Look at Shamar Stewart, defensive guy. He was holding out all draft. They don't want to pay Trey Hendrickson. Now they're trading a first round for Dexter Lawrence, who I think is very good. But they haven't got better. They sticking around with a crappy coach with Zach Taylor. And honestly, they with the Bengals, they have an all-time great. He's gonna be Matt Stafford, and I much rather the Eagles or somebody else get him who's willing. If you have an owner who's willing to pay, he could be a great addition. But with the Broncos, they're terrible. I mean, not Broncos. I'm sorry, Bengals.
I was like, wait a second. What? I'm like, what did he say? Fuck me for?
I like when the lights are
I'm
brightest.
saying the same thing, Miles. This is about Bengals and Eagles, and all of a sudden Andrew Luck and the Colts are brought into this.
It's because the Colts are Joe Burrow is most like Andrew Luck at this point in time.
I think, well, unlike Andrew Luck, I think there was nothing that could save him. He hated the game. I think getting Burrow to a new team that he can actually play on will revive his love for being a quarterback.
But who's going to actually trade for him?
I'm gonna grab a baffle,
Everybody.
and then I'm gonna rein this back in.
So
Finish up over here. I'm grabbing
Vikings, Eagles, Vikings, Rams. I can see them trading. I guarantee you, if you tell the Rams, "Hey, you have an opportunity to trade for Joe Burrow," they're gonna say, "Screw you, Ty Simpson. We're gonna go get an all-time great and restart."
Well, that would be a great situation. I think when the lights are the brightest, Jalen Hurts performs.
Oh, most definitely.
But the same thing could have been said about Matthew Stafford. Whenever he was in the playoffs, he didn't shine very great, and they lost every single time. No,
but Jalen Hurts has proven twice, and he was an MVP candidate. You have to give him more respect.
No,
quarterback when you won the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
No, I love Jalen Hurts. I'm not dogging on Jalen Hurts, but you're asking for, hey, if I have a Honda Civic, it's going to get me from point A to point B. All you need to make sure is it has gas. You do is routine maintenance. But when you have the opportunity to get a Bentley, to get a Lamborghini, yeah, you go get that Lamborghini because it's like.
But how many dings are on that Lamborghini? But
it's still a Lamborghini though.
Are you paying full price for it?
Trust me. You go get a talent of Joe Burrow. You don't stick with the Honda Civic, it might not start tomorrow. And you guys are literally getting rid of a receiver I personally think AJ Brown is great. And you have all that talent, and you're telling me you can't rise above the coordinator position. Like, get it? He's had a different coordinator every year.
I'm gonna even take it a step further. It's not just the offensive coordinator; it's the coach.
No, I don't like Nick Sirianni.
I think most of Philadelphia would agree with you that Nick Sirianni's a hack.
Between Jalen Hurts and Joe Burrow, I'd rather take Jalen Hurts because, much like a Honda Civic, he has proven that you have multiple chances to fix Jalen Hurts. He can actually adapt and overcome things.
I will.
Burrow is much like a Bentley. Burrow is much like a Bentley that if you break him, it's going to be expensive to fix him.
So I will even add on to this. What is more like, wow, this like he carried the Eagles with that level of talent of roster. They deserve to be in the NFL with that level of talent, the Super Bowl. But Joe Burrow took a poverty franchise like the Bengals, who had no business going to the Super Bowl in the AFC with the loaded AFC division or conference, and taking them to go to the Super Bowl, realistically being a play away from actually beating the Los Angeles Rams.
I'm not saying talent-wise. I hope you know that I'm not saying talent-wise.
No, I know what you mean.
I'm saying how far can I drive before that Bentley breaks?
Compared to how far is that Honda Civic going to get you?
Yeah, because that Bentley, once it breaks down, is going to be way too expensive to fix.
I will say
Honda Civic, when it breaks down, you can help get fixed.
I was gonna say I'm pretty sure like what wasn't the Honda like the 1990 something. All the 90s Civics were like the most reliable cars ever.
Oh yeah.
But I think Jalen Hurts is. I have a lot. In my opinion, I feel like you have a lot more better years with Joe Burrow than you do with Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is in a prove it year before. If he doesn't perform the way the Eagles are gonna think he should perform, he's gonna get traded or released. They've already said it, and I don't think
He's only had this one bad year, hasn't he?
No,
Yeah.
he had the year prior, or not the year prior, the year before that. They
No,
see
in
him that
2023, he had like over 20 something touchdowns.
I was saying,
But-
they were defending Super Bowl champions
it
last.
wasn't him. It was the defense. Took a dump.
watch. We'll go a year later.
Poor
And he
Miles.
doesn't. I don't think Sean Mannion. Sean Mannion is. You guys are putting all your eggs in a basket with Sean Mannion, who has never called plays and is a huge question mark.
Yes, Miles, you've lost us.
I'd rather
But-
have Sean Mannion than Kevin Patullo.
Oh, obviously, I'd much rather have graham crackers over a pile of shit.
Okay,
Anyways, back on
I'm asserting myself, and we are going to get this show in line to close it out.
Okay.
Draft
We still have to
winners. Draft winners.
Winners and
I'm
favorites.
gonna throw this one out immediately, and it kind of hurts me to do so. Vegas had a pretty decent draft. I kind of liked what Vegas was cooking with this one. Obviously, Mendoza at pick 1, like that's the assumed franchise guy. I like trading Stukes at 38. They go edge round 3, O-line, and then it's like just hammering guys that like realistically on a roster like the Raiders where they're still they're Swiss cheese full of holes still, or where they were in the draft. I think that they can get some actual contributions from some of these down the board guys. Trey Zune III, I feel like I remember hearing was a really good pick on that day at 91. And then again, like trading Stukes, they go Mike Washington in round 4 to be the Thunder to I can't remember his name all of a sudden. Who the hell is there? Genty, God. To be the Thunder to Genty's Lightning. And then, like, again, trading Stukes will probably be starter out of the gate. Kieran Crawford will probably see a good deal of play time. They'll get some special teams contributions out of probably guys like Dalton Johnson and Hezekiah Masses, Malik Benson to kind of help sort out their wide receiver room a little bit. I don't love that they didn't take more weapons for Mendoza. I think that's something that I didn't love, but I like overall as a whole for a team that was just so full of holes. I hate to say it, but the Raiders had a pretty damn good draft.
I also agree. I think they've improved their defense.
Say they went out and
a
got
lot.
like even in free agency because like who'd they go out and get like Nakobe Dean.
The Packers linebacker, right?
Yeah, I kind of spaced on the guy's name too, but I think I know who you're talking
Preston
about.
Smith, I think.
Yeah, because I remember that being one of the guys that a lot of Broncos fans wanted to go out and get once a couple of guys had already come off the free agency board.
It's pretty good.
I'm gonna leave my point here though, just so we don't run super long. But like the Raiders had a ridiculously good draft.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna kick this up to Anthony for winners.
Before we move on, I do want to. I'll keep it short. My favorite pick out of they had was Mike Washington Jr., the running back.
Dude,
out
I
of,
wanted Mike
Arkansas.
Washington so bad.
With having Kubiak, who loves the running back by committee, and having Mike Washington, and, honestly, what that reminds me of is having LT and Michael Turner, or LT and Darren Sproles. Like that level of like running back position, I guarantee you within the next couple of years, Mike Washington is going to be a starter in this league.
I'll guarantee. I think the one thing, like the one big knock on Washington was he did have ball security issues. You can coach that out, but
Yeah.
sometimes you get a running back that's just too stubborn to change their ways. I mean, look at how Shady McCoy carried the ball for his whole damn career.
I love Shady McCoy.
Shady McCoy is an all-time great. But Anthony, what do you got for a draft winner?
To really I think the biggest winner of this draft, if we want to really talk about future success, because there's a lot of, I'm looking at draft winners. A lot of people who are winners are people who are in the win now. If you want to look at 5 years down the line, I think the New York Jets. They really set themselves up for success to really, if we look at the quarterback class next year and also having to pivot with Dante Moore going to have to go back to college, it's like, shit, who do I really do? Or what do I get for success? But really capitalizing on trading Sauce Gardner, trading Quinnen Williams, having three first rounders for next year too, and the loaded 2027 draft. The huge winner, and obviously, is the New York Jets. And for a team that's been in poverty for so long, and setting themselves up for success next year, it's got to be the New York Jets. I'm just gonna go off David Bailey. I think they should have went with Arvell Reese, in my opinion. But having David Bailey, Kenyon Sadiq, Omar Cooper, D'Angelo
Those first three
Pons,
picks went absolutely ballistic for New York.
yeah. So really having those level of talent and to a really bad team, I mean, realistically, like the Jets are really bad, but really hitting on their future. They have Garrett Wilson. They have Omar Cooper now. They have Brees Hall, who is a very good running back.
Kenyon Sadiq is only going to add to that
and
too.
Sadiq.
That's an arsenal right there.
And having David Bailey and D'Angelo Pons and having 3 first rounders next year to really touch on, I feel like they killed it with this draft. We just got to see if they can coach him.
I would actually say, like, if we look back at like a Membo from last year, they have a pretty solid team outside of like the question at quarterback. I could see them winning like 7 games this year.
I think they're way better than Miami Dolphins. I will tell you that they're gonna be so much better than Miami Dolphins next year.
If anything, I feel like this iteration of the Jets, assuming that they even hit on just those first 3, like let's assume they only like really smacked it out of the park with those first 3 in the first round. Even then, we're probably looking at like the mid 2000s Raiders arc almost. I feel like where it's like they sucked in 2014. They won 7 games in 2015, and then they kind of went off in 2016. Like, it's really, really putting a lot of work into hypotheticals. But I fully agree, though, that, like, even those first 3 picks for the Jets, like, kind of make them a winner on paper right now.
If the Jets don't do good this season, I think it's time to start looking at the issues within the front office and the coaching staff.
I think we need to define the Jets. You got to grade on a curve now, though, because what is considered good for the Jets? It is Woody Johnson, by the way, because like their GM Johnson. They've only had for like a year, because that was Darren Moogie, because he got hired from Denver, because he was George Payton's assistant GM last offseason. Aaron Glenn's gonna get another year. Like,
realistically, like you have like, I get it with the Jets, but realistically, we have Justin Fields as your quarterback, who I don't know why
Fields and then Brady Cook,
and like, yeah, you're gonna get I mean, it ain't much of an improvement, but you are gonna get an improvement with Geno Smith. But realistically, getting rid of the front office again, after getting rid of Robert Saleh and their GM, then you're going to go with the rabbit hole. You guys have a core foundation, and we did forget, like, even though they got Kenyon Sadiq, they still have Mason Taylor, who was actually exceptional for them last year. So you have just give them one more year, give them a quarterback. You can't just fire these coaches because they aren't giving you winning seasons. You got to look at the bigger picture. They don't have a quarterback. Give them this year and give them next year with either as Arch Manning, Dante Moore, or a different or Julian Sayin from Ohio State, or package those picks up and get Joe Burrow. You guys have an option to really succeed this year, and I think give what's his face one more year. And realistically, I can see them being like how they were before they traded for Aaron Rodgers. Remember, the Jets were
they won 8 games in, what was it, 22?
Yeah,
with Zach Wilson?
Yeah, they would have been in the playoffs and been successful if Aaron Rodgers didn't tear his Achilles. And after that, Woody Johnson letting his son
Say even
run the
then,
team like
even
it's
then,
Madden.
all the Jets needed that year was like Zach Wilson to hit like 10 more passes that he did. That defense that year, I just want to cliff notes this. Like their defense that season was fucking legit.
Mm-hmm. And
sure.
once they got rid of Robert Saleh, their defense went to shit. So
Say I never loved the firing of Robert Saleh.
it was Woody Johnson and being a terrible owner like he is. Woody Johnson is terrible. I think he's on pace to be just as bad as the Browns, Bengals, even the Giants level of bad.
Cardinals.
Cardinals. But yeah, I just got to see I think the Jets hit on all their picks. They got what they needed. They were aggressive what they needed to be. I don't think they should get rid of their GM yet. Let them get a quarterback
Say
and really
I
let this.
personally, and this is a little bit of a homer thing before we move on. I like Darren Moogie. I thought he did a really good job as assistant GM in Denver before he moved on to the Jets. I want to see him actually build his team out.
I think.
Good.
You can go ahead. I was gonna pick my.
Oh,
winner.
I was honest to God, I was gonna transition it to you. So, Ender, draft winner.
I may be biased, but I think the Raiders were the winners of this draft for one reason and one reason only.
Nah, Mendoza.
Fernando freaking Mendoza. Fernando Mendoza is a game changer for the Raiders.
Trent gone.
For sure.
Trent
I
gone.
I think Mendoza has the ability to take Raiders from one of the worst teams to a real contender if he is given the tools he needs to succeed.
Say
Which they have.
he's probably gonna sit behind Kirk for a year, at least half of the year.
I give it like 4 games, and the Raiders fan base will over. I think they have the best teacher in Kirk Cousins, because I feel like Mendoza's comp is a little bit more is Kirk Cousins, and people like to hate on Kirk Cousins because he's kind of a square. But if you guys remember him in Minnesota days, he was stellar.
Cousins
I
was
feel
pretty
like-
good in Washington too. Like he had a couple of
Yeah.
really nice years in Washington.
So I'm a lot high. I feel like Mendoza will be a better version of Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins
Um,
plus.
Yes. So and with Fernando Mendoza, he's the quarterback the Raiders I feel like is the perfect fit and what the Raiders need. When you have somebody who really is detailed and the way he communicates the game, Mendoza is going to be a great player in this league. Will he be a superstar? I don't know, but he will not be a bad player in this league. He has way too much talent, and he also has a mindset to be great.
Say, and he is a
I-
damn good coach. Clint Kubiak is a damn good coach.
Mendoza was brilliant behind the ball. He has the smarts to be a good NFL quarterback. I mean, in college, 273 completions, 379 attempts. He threw for 72% completion rate. 3,535 yards, 41 touchdowns.
Little crispy. But fair enough. And I was gonna say, like,
6 interceptions.
even having only really seen him in the Natty, like Mendoza put on a show when he needed to. That rushing touchdown, I think, is gonna get him a statue built in the state of Indiana.
He has proven that he knows what to do with the ball. He's good in clutch times. His game with Iowa and Penn State have proven that he knows how to put together a drive to get down the field to score the points needed to win. And in the game with Miami, he's shown that he can take the ball and run when needed.
I can see I can honestly I don't think the Raiders are going to go from I think they're still going to be the worst team in the AFC West. I think they'll compete with the Chiefs on it, but I feel like the Raiders, I'm not very high on the Chargers. I know they'll be good, but I'm not high on Justin Herbert.
They'll be good in the regular season, but they'll be a wild card exit.
But I feel like within the next couple of years, the Raiders will be a force to be reckoned with. I feel like with them, they remind me of the Seattle Seahawks a couple of years ago. They'll hit maybe 9-8. They can have that, but give it like a year or two, they'll be like the Seattle Seahawks.
Dude, the
I
Bo Nix
guarantee it.
Fernando Mendoza rivalry is gonna go hard for the next 10 years.
I could really see like the way I saw Bo Nix's ankle. I really don't think Denver is going to be as great as they were last year. This
What's going on
could
with
be the
Bonix's
last.
ankle?
Oh, buddy, that looks like an L.
Say he got a cleanup procedure after getting it. The recheck was like part of the routine that they were going to go through. The procedure maybe not as planned, but like it was a possibility. Yeah, it looked kind of sketch, not gonna lie. But from everything that like we've heard though, like they're probably gonna ramp him up though. It's gonna be a slow ramp up. Like he'll probably do a lot more upper body for the off-season program. And then like OTAs, like he might throw 5 passes or something. For everything we've heard, like he'll still probably be like 100% for training camp. But
I hope so.
that ankle did look rough in that photo that we got.
I would get a
Man, that could just be post-surgery swelling and all that.
And that's kind of
rough.
that's kind of what I chalked it up to, because I know for a fact, like, and we're gonna show this here. I don't know how you probably can't see it. I've got scars here. There, the lighting's helping me a bit. Like I got a long ass scar here and a long ass scar here. Like I can tell you firsthand experience that like you do swell up a little bit after getting a surgery. So
Especially getting surgery, then a cleanup right after, it's going to swell real bad.
I would think that you guys need a backup. Maybe Rogers is available.
Nah,
No,
I don't want Aaron Rodgers.
no, I
That's
don't think
just
he
him not
did.
managing Coach Jones off us.
Uh,
I'm
Hey!
not Super Bowl with him.
I'm gonna kick this
I don't-
down to. Oh, go ahead, Anthony, real quick.
I would love to see the Broncos go get like a no. I still believe in the quarterback they have. What was the guy at the AFC Championship?
Stidham?
I still believe in Stidham. He was a game away. When you're playing in the snow like in the weather like that, I say before the snow really kicked in, he was playing decent. But you don't need him to play the whole season. You just need him to play first 4 games. And I think he is the quality of quarterback that can manage. He's not a starting quarterback, but he can play the first 4 games.
The
to
weird thing about that is it came out in the owner meetings, like out of Sean Payton's mouth. There is going to be a QB2 competition between Stidham and Sam Ehlinger. And honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if Ehlinger wins that, just because I think his skill set aligns a lot closer to Bo. I'm not saying he's as good as Bo, not by a mile, but I think his skill set works better.
We have Tanner McKee for you.
I don't need another broomstick.
Only backup. We got Anthony Richardson.
No!
He's on the trade.
I don't think.
I heard Russell Wilson's available.
No!
Could you imagine?
Yeah, like just imagine that. Let's go get Russell Wilson in there.
I think Russell Wilson would rather go start for the Browns than come back to the Broncos. Sean Payton does not like him, and I don't think he likes Sean Payton.
No. Realistically, I think Bo Nix is going to be back. I just think that it concerns me with that ankle. But we see he could be a good quarterback, but with his,
I just don't think he's going to run as much.
And that's his. When you have a talent with their mobility in this NFL draft or this NFL scenery, and your ankle's gone, like, oh man, that concerns me.
The thing that kind of tampers like my concern a little bit is like we're still so early in the season that like he's gonna have time to recover, and assuming that he's gonna be 100 for training camp, like I'm not super concerned yet. Now, if more reports come out that like there's a setback or something, then I'm gonna start panicking a little bit. But like, Bo showed last year, like especially down the stretch, like he can win from the pocket. Bo can win you games in the pocket. And I think another thing too that like does give me a little faith is like the run game died last year as soon as J.K. Dobbins got hurt. R.J. Harvey was rough, and then we didn't have anyone behind him to like really alleviate that. I think having Jonah Coleman in there is going to take a lot of pressure off Bo if whether or not J.K. gets hurt. And I think I said this in my last video actually, that like having Jonah Coleman there is like your insurance plan to J.K. Dobbins. Like, I think that's still going to keep a lot of pressure off of Bo. I don't think Bo is going to be asked to do nearly as much this year, or not as much as he was last year, especially after J.K. got hurt. Because we got to a point where, like, Bo was almost single-handedly carrying us to wins.
Will Levis is available.
No.
I like Will. I think Will Levis is a lot better than what people... When you have a quarterback a coach like Brian Callahan, I think he'll perform well.
That's fair. Real quick to close this out, Trent, your draft winner, my guy.
I hate to say it, but I think the Dallas Cowboys.
Ooh.
Caleb Downs. And then they got a linebacker, right? Or was the defensive lineman?
Dallas?
Yeah, in the first round.
Let me go. They took an edge first round, I thought.
Yeah. My computer died, so I can't look at it.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, they went edge. So it was Caleb Downs and Malachi Lawrence in the first round. They go another edge in round 3. And then it's tackle Drew Shelton, corner Devin Moore, D-line LT Overton, and then wide receiver Anthony Smith.
They went straight defense.
And that's exactly what they needed to do.
They're going to go for the Eagles. They're coming for the Eagles, and I don't like it.
I didn't love that they didn't go as hard at DB as I think they maybe should have. Like, I feel like they could have used a corner, but I don't disagree. Especially getting Caleb Downs. Getting Caleb Downs at 11 was crazy.
But safety, though, I get it.
They needed secondary help so bad, though.
His uncle is Dre Bly, and his dad played for the Giants. You can't pass that up.
Yeah, I think I'm a lot higher on Dak Prescott than a lot of people are. I am
actually very high on
Dak. I like Dak. I like Dak.
I hate Dallas, but I like Dak.
I think if you put with Dak Prescott, the level of talent that he is, I think he is a top 10 quarterback in my opinion. I think he gets a lot of unnecessary hate by the media. I think the media is so dumb. And they should trade Dak. But realistically, though, like,
you got a franchise quarterback in the first or in the 4th round. Why would you trade that?
You want to talk about, but you want to look at the ROI, the return on investment with Dak. Dak Prescott has overperformed by a big old mile, and I think he was actually surpassed Tony Romo, in my opinion. And I really like Dak Prescott. I think with this way he's been carrying this team, and I feel like if you want to talk about the NFC version of the Cincinnati Bengals, it's the Dallas Cowboys, and I feel like the Dallas Cowboys have overperformed what the Bengals should have done and been aggressive. I really like the way the Cowboys have drafted, and I think Jerry Jones has his best chance to really win. I think they're going to be better than the Eagles this year. I think this is Nick Sirianni's last year as the coach. I'm willing to put money on that. I feel like get rid of Nick Sirianni, and next year get Mike Tomlin, who will get you guys another Super Bowl.
No, I do not want Tomlin.
Okay, and that's why you're the Eagles.
Hey, wait, how many Super Bowls do you have?
It's okay. You guys are going to run it back with Nick Sirianni and run it. He's a terrible coach, and he's terrible. He's an offensive coordinator. I mean, offensive guy, but can't get offensive coordinator right. It's just mind-boggling.
Real quick.
They'll back into a Super Bowl.
Real quick. What else about Dallas's draft did you like, though? Just to wrap the bow on it. And
I just like that Dallas went defense. I think Downs was a home run.
They went heavy on defense too. I think they only took 2 offensive players, and they had 2, 4, 6, 7 picks.
And I don't like Dallas. I don't hate Dallas because I've never seen them relevant.
That's
you know,
that's fair.
They went really well. with it.
I feel like, and this is not like an indictment on Dallas fans because my friends are Dallas fans, but like I started watching football the year after they won the Super Bowl, or 2 years after they won the Super Bowl. So like Dallas was never good. So I didn't have this developed hate for Dallas. I never developed the hate. I mean, I hated the Patriots until we beat them. Hated the Chiefs until we beat them. So there's like not really a team that I hate. But because it's fun, the Dallas rivalry, yada yada.
My thing is though, like with the Cowboys, I'm looking at their draft. They got Caleb Downs, they got Mekhi Lawrence, then they got
Jayshon Barham out of Michigan.
And
I didn't hate their pick of Drew Shelton either, because I do think tackle was kind of a spot that they were hurting for. I think they're anticipating a retirement, aren't they? Or did they already have a guy go that he would hypothetically?
They had Tyler Smith who retired, and then they also had Zach Martin who they retired. Right. But they also drafted a tackle last year, or offensive lineman who actually is very good. I can't remember his name, but I'm looking at it, and you got to also consider they traded their first rounder for Quentin Williams, and like. Who was actually exceptional that last year.
Quentin Williams is such a good lineman, just a damn good D-line too.
I still think Jerry Jones is going to screw it up.
Jerry Jones is going to Jerry Jones.
That's why I like, and plus, you know, I'm an Eagles fan, so Eagles are going to win every Super Bowl from now until the end of time.
But what if the Broncos win the Super Bowl from now until the end of time?
Stop it, Andy. You're fine.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We were 5 yards away from winning the Super Bowl.
Hey,
at least you weren't 1 yard away.
Go.
Hey,
we should have 4 Super Bowls right now.
Hey,
screwing us.
What wasn't that Tracy Porter?
It was Tracy Porter.
I remember that.
Patriots screwing us on the goddamn deflate gate.
Oh God.
And then Jones losing his Achilles.
All right. I'm gonna nip this in the bud here, get us all out of here. We got through everything I wanted to. You guys have any closing comments before we get out of here? This was a great time, man. Always love getting all the boys together, getting to talk some football. NFL draft was a hell of a time as well. But as always, love having you guys on. Love doing this with you guys. Everyone in my chat and everyone else's chat. I don't know if you guys were streaming. I know Ender's gonna post this on his channel later. Go sub to the boys. Music City Air, Hilltime Sports, Hoosier Sports Talk, Hoosier Sports Talk, and Crushing It with Miles Smith. That has been this edition of
your Discord.
Four Corner. Oh yeah, we got a new Discord. I think I made a post about it, but that link may or may not have expired. I will probably make another post on that. But yeah, go like and sub for all the boys. Hype the videos if you're on mobile. Each of us appreciate the hell out of all of you. Hell yeah.
Even Anthony posts from time to time just to talk bad about Trevor Lawrence.
Yes, Alabama. Anyways, with that being said, hope all of you guys, hope everybody here has a good night. Hope everybody watching has a good night. Again, don't forget to like and sub to everybody. Helps us all out immensely. I'm pushing to 500 subs. I'm close to monetization, which is something I never thought I'd get to say. Trent's working his way up. How many subs you at now?
We are 242. We need 8 more for 250.
There we go. So go get him to 250. Ender's getting his stuff off the ground. Everybody is linked in the description.
600 subscribers. Cheater.
With that being said, thank you all for showing out again. Appreciate each and every one of you. And we will see you all in the next one. Peace.
All right. See you.
See ya.